Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my workshop. I'm Dave Dickens, and this is, I think it's about part 13 of a long running series about me building a bass guitar as part of the Jurgen Zoller challenge in memory of Jurgen Zoller, one of our guitar building colleagues who sadly passed away earlier in the year. Now then, if you're new to this channel, you may be wondering what's been going on. So I thought at the start of this video, I'd give a quick recap. Now, just a bit about me. I'm an amateur guitar builder, an amateur composer, and an amateur novelist. Basically, I can't keep still. I'm retired, but I work. The only difference being is I don't get paid. But I enjoy doing stuff. And so, I hope you'll stay with me on these sort of videos. So let me tell you all about this bass guitar. Now, I started off with the idea of making a hollow body bass guitar. The problem I had was, how was I going to deal with the horns of the guitar? So to try and create the shape of a jazz bass and have it all hollow was going to be really difficult. And my wife came up with a suggestion of making the front end of the body solid. And I thought, okay, that's quite a good idea, because it meant there was something to attach the neck to. So that left me with the problem of making the rest of the body hollow, and I needed to connect the sides to this solid block at the front. And my idea was to do all of that, the front block and the sides, in mahogany. And I had a lovely piece of reclaimed mahogany. So I tried to bend the mahogany to create the sides, or the ribs of the guitar. I tried steaming it, I tried heating it, I tried soaking it overnight. Pieces of very wet wood that's soaked overnight. Straight away I'm starting to get a split. I just could not bend the mahogany without it cracking. So I had to change tack, and I found some sycamore, and I discovered that that would bend much more easily. So that meant I ended up with a dark block at the front of the guitar and light sides. So that left me with a bit of a problem. How was I going to deal with the top and the back of the guitar? And then I got an idea from our friend Scott at Bonehead Guitars, who had done a wonderful guitar for his son called Kai's Guitar, where he used 2 tones of wood and created this beautiful wave shape. So I thought, I'm going to do the same thing. Slightly different approach to how Scott did it, but nevertheless copying his idea. I did that for the back. So it's a mixture of the mahogany and some ash. And I had a bit of ash left over and did the front, sort of in reverse to the back. The reasons for making a hollow body guitar was, one was the weight, and the other reason was basically I didn't have enough wood to make a solid body guitar complete out of the scraps that I got. So creating it as a hollow body guitar meant I wasn't going to use so much wood. So we then end up with this body. So we've got ash at the front, mahogany at the back. If I flip it, we've got ash there towards the back and mahogany at the front, and they look reasonably good. Where I've got a problem is on the sides, where the ribs join the block at the front, and to be perfectly honest with you, it's a little bit ugly. For 2 reasons. One, it's just a straight line across, and the other reason is it doesn't line up with the top. And to be honest, I couldn't get it to line up. I'm sure there are crafts people out there who could do a much better job at this and get the whole lot to all line up and look beautiful. But unfortunately, that's not me, as you will know if you watch this channel. But I think I can do something with this to make it look a little bit better than it does. I'm very pleased with it. It's very lightweight, and I think it's going to work well. But I need to sort out those sides. Anyway, so I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of where I've come from and where I'm at. In this episode, I'm going to try and sort out this problem with the top and the sides. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get going. In the last episode, I glued the fretboard on the neck, and that's all stuck nicely now. So at some point I need to do quite a bit of shaping, but I'm going to put that to one side today because I really do want to concentrate on this body. Now, to a certain extent, it is what it is. A quirky Dave guitar. Because there's nothing I can do about it. As soon as I had different colours on the sides here, I was going to have problems, and so I accept that. But you know, it's part of the quirkiness of this guitar. So anyway, but what I would like to do is something with the top here. So my idea is to put some binding on it, and I've got this walnut, nice dark walnut. I've got this nice light piece of veneer. And I'm thinking of sort of a sandwich, which I think will look quite nice all the way round the edge there. If we can bend it, I'm pretty sure we can. When it comes to these joints here, my idea was to put some sort of inlay in there. I've got these pieces of mother of pearl and shells and all sorts of things. So I was thinking of sort of almost like a diamond shape in there, sort of to blend just the two parts together. But we'll look at that later. Before I do that, let's see if I can get some binding bent to go around this. Now it also means I've got to route a channel, and that is always fun, isn't it? This end of the workshop, I've got my homemade bending iron heating up. It's now at 26 degrees. It's got a 60-watt light bulb in this metal post, and that will go up to about 80 to 90 degrees, and that's fine for bending the wood. So we'll just leave that. It takes a while. And at this end of the workshop, I've got this contraption, which is my Dremel jig based on the StewMac version. Now this is a bit of plywood into which I can screw the Dremel like so. So that screws in there. I've got a ball bearing there which is going to act as a guide so that I don't go too deep, and basically I've got this very small router bit in there. So this should allow me to do a channel all the way round the top of the guitar. I've had a bit of a test run. I think this is going to be all right. It's deep enough. Yeah, I think I'm going to have a go. So let's set it up. Now I don't think I'm going to go inside here with the binding, so I'm going to peter it out on the top there. I've got a PRS, an SE PRS, which does the same thing. So the binding sort of peters out at the end, thins down. So that's what I'm going to do. So I think I'll mark it with a pencil just so I know where I want to go to. That's the sort of the end of it there, and we're looking at the end of it there. Otherwise it's all the way around the guitar. One thing you won't see in my videos is me telling you this is how you do something. You know, there's so many videos out there with experts who really do know what they're talking about. But I mean, you do get some people, you know, learn the piano in half an hour and play the guitar in about 10 minutes and, well, I don't know. If this is not what this channel is about, this channel is about somebody who is trying to build a guitar or trying to compose a piece of music or trying to write a novel, whatever, and well, is, you know, struggling like anybody would along the way. And I hope that you learn from my mistakes as I do. You know, we live in a society where everything is about success. You know, if you've not succeeded, well, you know, you're written off. Nobody considers failure and the power that that gives you. You know, by failing at something, you've learnt something really important and you can move on. I always think of it as sort of failure is the journey and success is the final destination. And of course, once you get the final destination, then where do you go from there? So the interesting part of life for me is that trying, and sometimes you succeed, but sometimes you fail. Anyway, I'm digressing because quite honestly, my idea of putting binding in isn't working out quite as it should do. Let's get back to it. Well, okay, how can I put it? That was a disaster waiting to unfold in front of me, that was. So I'm going for a plan B. And what I found is a flush trim bit in my routing bits box. And I've also found a small ball bearing. So, yeah, I'm going to give that a go. Now, the test piece went pretty well. I didn't get it quite as deep as the 4mm that I wanted, but yeah, we're going to have to try and we're going to have to adapt. And I think this is going to do the job. So yeah, let's give it a go. Do you know, I don't quite believe it, but that went pretty well, actually. Yeah, I went in a bit too far there, but yeah, okay, we can deal with that. That looks pretty good. My goodness me. Okay, well, as I say, the binding isn't quite as thick as I thought it was going to be, so I'm going to have to adapt my binding, but, well, that was a success, I think. You know, having a thinner binding, I think it's going to work really well because it actually means I can put some of this silver veneer in between the walnut and the mahogany, and that will work on both the lighter parts of the guitar and the darker parts. So that's really good. So what I need to do now is cut some strips of this and get bending. Before I mentioned at the beginning, I'm a bit of an amateur novelist, and my latest novel, Entanglement, has just come out, and I am so delighted with the reviews that I'm getting from the book so far. People do seem to like it, which is, wow, that's really magic. It's on Amazon, Entanglement by D.K. Dickens, so if you'd like to pop along and have a look, please do. Just realised I'm calling it walnut, but it's not walnut at all. It's Santos rosewood. So right, just shows I have no idea what wood I'm using. Okay, so I need to cut some strips of this grey to match the strips that I've cut of that. It's just slightly proud at the top there. I cut them to 10mm, and I've just I cut them to 9mm, that's right, and I've just shaved them down a little bit, but not that much. So this needs to be cut to about 8 or 9mm, something like that. I need to do something with this annoying little indent that I got, because obviously there was nothing for the roller to catch on to. So what I'm just going to do is file it flat. I think by the time that's glued on, that's going to look okay. So, what do you reckon? Glue on the veneer first and then bend the thicker wood afterwards? I'm sort of tempted to do that, I think. It's going to be easier to manage, I think, if I can do that. I need a bit of filing on that end as well. on this end. Right then, there's going to have to be a join in this veneer. I can't help that, unfortunately. It's not long enough. So I might as well take it past the end. Take it round there. Round there, round there. And we'll put a join in just there, I think. Right. Okay. How's it best to do this, I wonder? You know, I do change my mind a lot when I'm building these guitars, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, in actual fact, it might be better for me to bend this first and glue the two of them together, because then I've got something for the tape, the masking tape, to grip onto. If I just do the grey first, I've got a bit of a problem of how to attach it. So I think I'm going to bend some wood. Okay, the plan is simple. I'm going to bend the wood and tape it to this template, leave it overnight, and then come back in the morning and glue it. So I'm going to start on this back edge. Right, well, I've done both sides, the top and the bottom here, but I'm going to just leave it to set in place overnight. Right, well, now the time has come to stick this binding on. I'm going to do the top half of the guitar first. I just need a small piece at this end, so I'm going to glue this in first, just to hold it in place while I sort out the rest. So that goes at that particular point there. Okay, so now let's get some glue all round this guitar. It is a bit chilly today. I've had the heater on a little bit just to warm the workshop up, but it's not very warm. Right, I'm also going to put glue on this binding here on the inside. Oh, that's split. Oh. That's no good. That's no good at all. That is no good at all. Clean up time. Well, look, that is clearly not going to work. That's just split. That horn is just too sharp a curve for the wood to go round, and I'm going to need to bend it more. So what I've done, I've switched on my very hot small bending iron, and I'm going to have another go, see if I can actually bend that horn first, and then we'll worry about the more gentle curves on the body afterwards. So without further ado, let's have a go. Well, look, I think I've done it, but I'm not going to know until this cures. So, well, it's just a waiting game now. What I'm hoping I've learned from this is that I need to use my really hot small iron here to bend those really tight corners. The rest of the body is a gentle curve, and that doesn't seem to cause too much trouble for the wood, but it's those really sharp corners that cause the wood to break. Anyway, let's keep our fingers crossed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you in suspense because that's going to take quite a while to dry, and I really would like to get this video out. I think it's gone on a bit too long anyway. So I hope you will join me on the next video when we see if that binding is actually stuck. Oh gosh, it's going to be interesting. Well, I hope you're all ready for Christmas. It's sort of getting closer to the big day, and I know everybody is really busy. So don't work too hard, and please stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.